Alright, we're going to load Canyon, and what I do with him is I'll use a chain on his nose, just a little lead chain. It might be 12 or 18 inches long, and I'll put it in the side loop, and then I just loop it over the halter and back through this other side loop. That way it's not too much pressure on his nose, and he just needs a little reinforcement to listen. He's not afraid of the trailer. He's just choosing not to, and he kind of uses his weight against you. So that there puts a little bit more pressure on him, so that you don't just pulling with the lead rope on the halter, okay? This is a flat load trailer with just a 4-foot door. Sometimes he'll get to the end and stop, and that's alright. Just keep a light pressure on him until he walks up in. I usually feed him a little something in there and let him eat. Tie him up, and he's good with the slides. He's real good about backing out. He stands in here quiet while you tie him now. We'll let him get a little bite to eat, and then I'm going to back him out. As you can see, he's pretty quiet about it. He's not so nervous anymore. I also got a stock trailer here. We'll load him in that. This is kind of a short trailer. It's only 6.5 feet tall. You can see the height of the trailer is a lot smaller, so it's a lot more enclosed and a little bit more claustrophobic. Again, he stopped there. Put a little pressure with the chain. Tell him to come on. If he stops, I hadn't had him in this trailer before, so we'll see. But if he stops, let's keep light pressure with the chain till he decides to come on, and then he's all right. You can't force him, just let him come on at his own will, but just enough pressure, just 2 or 3 fingers worth of pressure until he comes on, and make him come out nice and slow and easy. As you can see, he's not nervous about it anymore. He's accepted the trailers and listening. So that's Trailer Loading 101 with Canyon.
Okay.
Alright, we're going to go through a couple of riding things with Canyon. First off is, this is what I'm riding Canyon in right now. It's just a simple snaffle bit. This one's got a little twist on it. And the reason I got that in there rather than just a smooth snaffle is because he does pull a little bit. Same as like the trailer loading. He just pulls because he knows his weight. He can outpull you, so I put a little something, a little twist on there. It's kind of like putting a chain over his nose, you know, kind of so it gives you the little upper hand on the pressure. He can't keep pulling against you, so I won't advise using a big, fat, smooth snaffle with him because he will pull too much. And at the same time, I don't put nothing too severe in there because we don't want to get him upset either and angry. So just a pretty fat snaffle, but with a slow twist on it would be good. Riding wise, the biggest thing that you're going to want to work on with him is his collection, keeping him collected. His one confirmation deflaw is he's a little sway back, so we got to keep working on them back muscles and keeping them round. So we're going to do a couple exercises, trotting and cantering, and I'll show you that, and how to keep his face in and keep him collected. In doing so, we'll use a couple different training aids we've used to teach him that. One of them, the biggest one that we've used on him, is the draw reins. We also use a running martingale, but I'll show you how to hook the draw reins up, and if you get a set of these, you can wear them at home, and it'll help you be more forgiving with your hands and easier for him to understand. Let's see here if I get these set up for you. When you get a pair of draw reins, there's going to be 2 snaps that are free flowing under it, and there's going to be 2 that are hooked direct. Okay, the direct snaps will snap to the girth area. You can either go to a D-ring on your saddle or the cinch. Especially if you're riding English, you'll probably have to go to the cinch, but you just snap one to the girth or to the D-ring on your saddle, and do the same thing on the other side. And then these 2 free-flowing snaps will snap to the bit, okay? So I'm going to snap one to this side of the bit, then one to this side of the bit. Obviously, we won't need these reins that I got on the bridle right now, so I'm just going to take them off.
Okay.
Alright, So we got the draw reins on now, and they're going to help you give him more of a direct cue to give his face and drop it down so we can collect his back and get him to round up. You see how soft he is on the reins, and he's knowing where to put his head. So I'm going to get on him now. I'm going to ride him in the draw reins first, then we'll switch over to regular reins, and that's going to be your biggest project, is to get him to stay collected on the trot and the canter and keep his face and make him listen. So.
Okay.
As we walk, trot, canter, we want to make sure we try and keep his face as collected as we can so we keep his back round. That's what we want him to look at right there. The draw reins help us keep him there. I'm doing a good sitting trot right now. Just sitting through the trot. He's pretty smooth. And just keep holding your hands pretty steady, like you see, very soft, 2 fingers. And then I'm going to do a posting trot. Kind of drives him forward a little bit more, but the same thing. You can still hold his head the same position. To get around, I'll ask for his canter. Again, his face still stays the same. You want to keep him nice and collected as he canters. Circles keep him balanced. Still really soft, just a couple fingers, and he should stay there. If he's not, he's getting harder than that, we need to do some more work. I'm going to tell him to stop. Okay, that's with the draw reins. We're going to switch and put our regular reins back on and show that he can do the same thing with just regular reins.
Okay.
Alright, so now we switch back to our regular riding reins, and you can see they just snap directly to the bit. So the pressure when we pull on is going to be pulling from up here, so it's going to be a little different in the draw reins, but we've been working them to get him more consistent in regular reins. If he gets his head up like there, he's kind of naturally carries it up there. If you want to get it down, you should be able to apply pressure, hold, 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 squeeze a little bit with your legs, and just keep holding, and he'll come down to where you want him. If you have to, you can take your hands and seesaw them a little bit, keep working his mouth, and then he'll come down into your hands. Okay, you might have to do it again. Get him to come down into your hands a little bit, okay? I'm going to do the sitting trot. And there he is now. He's nice and soft and into the bit. We'll do the posting trot. Again, to hold your hands. Biggest thing is you want to keep that face vertical to the ground. Alright, I'm going to ask him to canter. Again, his face and his neck is nice vertical to the ground. He's soft in my hands. Okay, just a couple fingers. You can hold him. If he drifts out, catch him with that outside rein. We'll ask him to stop. Ooh. Alright.
Okay.
Alright, a couple things you can do to help keep him soft and flexing good is you always want to work on your one rein stops. You can do it at the walk, trot, canter, doesn't matter. Just shorten this rein up where you normally are. Reach down here, pull this rein back to your hip pocket, and just pull it, and that's getting him to bend and flex his neck. Wait till he stops, and he's giving on the rein. So when I let loose with this rein, he holds his head right there, okay? That way you know he's not pulling on your rein. So you want to let loose when he stops and when he gives his face. What that does, it keeps softening his mouth, and he gives him flexion in the neck. Now, Canyon is not as flexible to the right as he is to the left, so I don't ask him as much to the right. He never has been, and he's gotten a little better, but he's still not. So as soon as he stops and he's off my hand where I let go and his head stays there, then I know he's not pulling. You can let him be, okay? Now you can do it at the trot, and you can do it at the canter. The other things you can do is get him to walk or trot's the easiest thing to do that. And get him to side pass over. I'm using my inside leg, which would be my left leg at this time. My left hand on the rein, right hand on the rein. My hands will work together like this. One doesn't do this or this. They got to work together. to the right as he is the left, so you